The whispering shadows. The old cabin sat at the edge of Blackwood Forest, its weathered planks groaning under the weight of decades. Locals called it cursed, whispering tales of vanished hikers and strange lights flickering in the trees. But to Mia, it was just a cheap rental for a weekend getaway. She'd found it online, a steal for someone desperate to escape the city's hum. Armed with a backpack, a flashlight, and her camera for her YouTube channel, she arrived at dusk, the sky bleeding red over the treetops. "All right, guys," Mia said, hitting record. "Welcome to another adventure. Tonight we're exploring this creepy cabin in Blackwood Forest. Spooky vibes, right?" She panned the camera across the sagging porch, the boarded windows, the door hanging slightly ajar. The air felt heavy, like it was holding its breath. Inside, the cabin smelled of damp wood and something sour, like old meat. Mia's flashlight beam danced across dust-covered furniture, a rickety table, a moth-eaten couch, and a cracked mirror reflecting her silhouette. "This place is straight out of a horror movie," she laughed, her voice echoing oddly. She set up her tripod, planning to film a mock ghost hunt for her subscribers. The plan was simple: record some eerie footage, maybe fake a scare, and call it a night. But as she explored, the cabin seemed to shift. The floorboards creaked behind her, though she walked alone. A cold draft snaked through the room despite the sealed windows. Mia brushed it off, chalking it up to nerves. "Okay, chat. Let's check out the bedroom," she said, forcing a grin. The camera's red light blinked steadily, her only companion. The bedroom was worse. A rusted bed frame sat in the corner, its mattress stained with dark, uneven patches. The walls were scratched, deep gouges forming jagged patterns that looked almost deliberate. Mia zoomed in, narrating, "Whoa, check this out. Looks like someone had a bad day." She laughed, but it sounded hollow. Her breath caught as the camera's audio picked up a faint whisper, too low to make out. She froze. "Did you guys hear that?" she asked, though no one could answer. She played back the footage. The whisper was there, faint but unmistakable. "Leave. Now." Her heart thudded. "Okay, probably just the wind," she said, her voice shaking. She turned off the camera to save battery and sat on the bed, trying to steady herself. That's when she noticed the scratches on the wall weren't random. They formed words. "We see you." Mia's stomach dropped. She grabbed her flashlight, sweeping it across the room. Nothing. Just shadows. But the shadows seemed to move, curling at the edges like smoke. She fumbled for her camera, hitting record again. "Guys, this place is freaking me out. I swear those scratches weren't there before." Her voice cracked as she panned to the wall. The camera glitched, the screen flickering with static. When it cleared, the words had changed. Too late. A low hum filled the cabin, like a distant swarm of bees. Mia backed toward the door, her flashlight beam trembling. The hum grew louder, vibrating in her chest. Shadows stretched across the walls, forming shapes. Hands, faces, eyes watching her. She tripped over the threshold, falling into the living room. The door to the cabin slammed shut on its own. Okay, this isn't funny," she gasped, scrambling to her feet. She yanked at the door, but it wouldn't budge. The hum became voices, overlapping whispers clawing at her ears. "Stay! Stay! Stay!" The air grew thick, pressing against her skin. Her camera fell, still recording, capturing her panicked breaths and the shadows pooling like ink around her feet. She ran to the window, smashing at the boards with her flashlight. They splintered, revealing not the forest but a void, pure, endless black. Faces formed in the darkness, their mouths moving silently. Mia screamed, dropping the flashlight. It rolled, casting wild beams across the room. The whispers grew into a chorus, deafening, unintelligible, but one phrase cut through. "You brought us here." Mia stumbled back, her mind racing. She hadn't just found the cabin online, it had popped up in an ad, unprompted with her name in the listing. Mia's perfect getaway. She'd thought it was a glitch, a coincidence. Now the realization hit. Something had lured her here. The shadows surged, wrapping around her ankles like cold hands. She kicked free, grabbing her camera and bolting for the bedroom. There was a trap door in the corner. She'd seen it earlier but ignored it. Now it was her only chance. She pried it open, revealing a ladder descending into darkness. The whispers followed, louder, angrier. "You can't leave us." She climbed down, the air growing colder with each rung. The ladder seemed endless, the darkness swallowing her flashlight's beam. Finally, her feet hit dirt. She was in a cellar, its walls carved with the same jagged patterns as above. In the center stood